Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Is this Yamini?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
this is Mayuri from
working.
HKR Trainings.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No. Yamini, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah. So you can start the demo.
Yes. Just give me a minute, please. If you could just allow me a moment. Mhm. So let me know if you can just see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So today's demo is about your introduction to the BTP. Okay. Now, the first thing first, what is that you are aware of about SAP BTP and what is that you know about SAP?
Uh, Actually, I'm just working in the SAP DMC. I just uh, created some plugins in the SAP Business Application Studio,
Mm-hmm.
and in DMC, I just work the multiple process like creating the PP design production process and some few more activities.
So you mean you work for the data migration?
Uh, Not like that. Like sort of for a front end, I just created a screen. Actually, previously I was just a MMA consultant, so I just using UFA to create screens. So the same thing I'm just doing in the BAS and BTP. And you get it right.
Okay, and what is the module that you're working on?
Uh, SAP DMC and SAP MIME and UFA as well.
Okay. So you work mostly into the manufacturing domain, is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what made you just to think of the CAPM, or is it like something you are already aware of, and some of your friends are working, or something like that?
Which one? I don't get it. Right?
In CAPM?
No, I'm not aware of this one.
Okay. So for today's class, we have planned for the CAPM, but in
Yeah.
case if you are willing to move to the UFF also, like MIME would use a part of it. They wouldn't do it full-fledgedly, right? Just
Yeah.
like the screen connections and everything. So what was your intention? Because I was just told that depending on to the student, we would just go ahead with the demo. So I am just assuming that you're looking for becoming a full stack, which is onto the CAPM, or is it like you want to get in more deep onto the UI5 side?
Okay.
It's just a question.
Yeah, actually, I just actually in BTP, I just know um, like in BAS, like I said, I know, but I know some few things about BTP, like configuration level in between the on-premises system to cloud system.
Okay.
Not that much. I just know level like in theory level, and I just seen some scenarios. That's it. But I
Okay.
need to learn more. Like.
Okay, so when it
Uh,
comes to the CAPM, so
mhm.
basically CAPM would be used when you want to create a full stack application without being dependent onto your
Mhm.
this without being dependent onto your HANA or everything, because this is
Okay.
a part of your side by side extensibility.
Okay.
Whenever you go with any kind of a cloud application, there are two features that your SAP will offer. One is a in-app extensibility, and one is your side-by-side extensibility. So in-app extensibility is more like a brownfield implementation, where you have some of the legacy systems, ABAP systems, the Fiori Launchpad and everything. But when it comes to your when it comes to your cloud application programming, that time it would be like you would have some of the things that are there which you require for your work zones and some of the other things like that. Okay, so there would be a
Okay.
lot of other things that would also come in picture. So my intention for you to have a walkthrough, it would be a very basic where we talk about the cloud application programming. Okay, so before
Okay.
going to start with the cloud application programming, so your cloud application programming, or which is basically called as a CAPM, is basically a part of your it's basically a part of your the BTP. Okay, so what
Okay.
you know about BTP is my question. Like, do you know that BTP is a tool or BTP is a service? What exactly do you know about BTP?
Actually, which is BTP is, which is the platform for uh, I just we just subscribe the um, things like what we want, like DMC things and uh, some service like that. I don't know exactly, but I think so. I think like that only.
Okay, so first thing, let's understand what does a BTP stands for. Okay,
Okay.
so BTP stands for your business technology and platform. Okay,
Okay.
now whenever you talk about your BTP, there are four pillars that would be there. Okay, so let me know if I switch my screen, will you be able to see that?
Uh,
Uh,
no, not
okay,
yet.
let me just share my entire screen. Now I'm just sharing my entire screen. Let me know if it is visible. Just a second. Okay. So
Ah,
here, this is something which we call it as a BTP verticals. Okay. So
okay.
whenever you talk about your UI5 or whenever you talk about something or the other thing, you should know where do you fall under that particular category. Okay.
Okay.
So first thing first is a BTP is a business technology platform. Okay, the focus is on the word called as a platform. The reason being more focus is onto the platform is because it will allow you, or it will just enable you to work on to many other things. Okay, so if you want to see here, you see the business process is there, application is there, technology is there, infrastructure is there. Okay, and now for you to work with any other thing, you should know which vertical do you fall for. Okay, so this is basically the vertical stack. Okay, for example, if you are a bapper, so where do you work mostly? Or let's say if you want to upskill yourself, where do you upskill? You either upskill yourself into ABAP on HANA, or you do it onto the Fiori elements. Okay. But when you are a UI5 consultant, or let's say UI5 with some other combination, let's say UI5 with ABAP, UI5 with Fiori, then how do you upskill yourself? You upskill yourself uh, with the help of that particular thing. Okay, so what do you call it? You call it as a full stack. But because you don't come from the ABAP background, it is difficult for you to decide. So what SAP has done? SAP has basically come up with the idea of having your SAP HANA. Okay, it basically divided it into the database and data management, then the analytics, application development, and integrations, and intelligent technologies. Okay, so when it comes to the intelligent technologies, you will have it over here. Then you have the integration suite, which we do not consider at any point, and the analytics. Okay, so we do not also deal with analytics. So what is our focus area? Our focus area is the application development and integration. Because if
Okay.
we do not have the right data, it is of no use. But when the right data is coming, it should also come from your right systems. Okay, so for right systems to talk to each other, we have integration. Okay,
Okay.
then what we have is, because we have to exchange the data with the systems, we should have applications to communicate. So we would always be having application development and integration go hand in hand. For example, let's say I am working on SD module and I'm getting the data of the retail or it's not right. Okay, business wise also it's not right. For example, if I'm working on let's say a manufacturing company and I am getting the data of the retail company, then it is wrong. Because for a retail, the product is a article. Okay, but for an article, the things are different. Business term wise I'm talking about. So these
Mm.
are the different things. Okay, we cannot mix all of these things. So we should understand where do we fall first. So we fall under the application development and integration. Now, when this is application and integration, we would also understand how these are working. Okay, how these are working and how do they communicate. Now, when it comes to the talking or developing, we would have a tool which we call it as a business application studio. Right? We would always have this business application studio. And the business application studio, you can always work and develop in your application. This
Mm.
account is a trial account which we would be using it for the development. Okay, we will be using it for the development. Then once that is done, we would also go ahead and see what all you would requiring, and then you need to understand how the tool is hosted. So first thing first, it's a business technology platform. Now whenever it comes to a platform or any kind of a cloud services, you would have something, we call it as the hosting platforms or the platforms of the cloud computing. Okay, so your business technology platform is a PaaS model. Okay, a platform as a service. Then you would have SaaS as a model. Okay, then you would also have your uh, IS as a model. Now, what are these SaaS, PaaS, and IS? So, for example, let me just tell you with your real life examples. Now, in case, okay, if you are working in a IT company, you would see a lot of buildings on of your company which is there, but anytime you would not know whether that company is actually owned by the organization or it is owned by whom. So what we would have, we would just have something, we call it as a infrastructure as a service. In Hyderabad also we would have a lot of things which we call it as a co-working space, where a company do not own a space but they own a infrastructure for which
Mm.
they pay the monthly rentals. So that is
Okay.
infrastructure, but it is used as a service. Even if your rental homes you consider, you do not own it but you are allowed to use it. So that's an infrastructure as a service. Then you have software as a service. So in case if you have used any kind of a Uber, or let's say any of the Netflix or any of the Amazon shopping applications, they are softwares. They are the softwares that you use, but you do not own that. So what do you use them for? You use them for the commercial experience, or let's say you would use them for the entertainment purpose, something like that. So these
Oh.
are the softwares as a service, where you do not own it, but you would utilize it. Like you use Amazon for the groceries or any kind of electronics that you want to purchase. You use Netflix because you would not go to the theater and watch it. You would just like to watch it onto the smaller screens, and then you would also have to pay the monthly subscription for that, right? Then you have platform as a service. So for us as a very biggest transportation means is your railways. Okay, so that is a platform as a service. When it comes to a platform as a service, you can have railway platforms, you can use YouTube as a platform, because for some of the people it's a earning source, right? But it is a digital earning source. For some people, we could also use a platform like a learning platform where all of your educational tutorials, or let's say any of the other means of educations, or anything that guides you or learn something, but it is available virtually, is a platform as a service. Okay, so are these three examples enough for you to understand the difference between your platform as a service and IAS and PAS?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Now, once you are done with that, okay, once you have decided that what is that you will give. So when it comes to your BTP, it's a platform as a service, because at the end itself you get a platform as a service. Now what are the offerings of this service? Okay, sorry, what are the offerings of this platform? So you get a security. Okay, because you get a security, because if your user exists, then only you can log in, right? For me, my user was existing, so I was able to log in, so it means it gives you the security. Then it gives you the systems to develop. So it gives you softwares also as a service, which is your business application studio. So you also get a business application studio, which is there. Okay, so that is also a software as a service. So you have a pass, and inside a pass you have a SaaS. Okay, software as a service, because that tool allows you to develop your applications independently. It does not require you to have any kind of a physical installation or something like that. Okay, then you would have something called as the entitlements. Okay, so this entitlements are something that we call it as who is allowed what and how many services and everything is allowed. When we go into the next class, we will also have a deep dive session about it. Then you would have the usage analytics, like have I paid for this or have I used what? The audits basically. For example, if your company has purchased a license,
Yeah.
because without a license, you would not be able to use it onto a commercial purpose, or let's say for a production use. So what you will have, you would also have this into your environment, right? Now, once you have it onto your environment, what you will do? You would be basically having that audits. Now, why do you need an audit? Because you also have to pay to the SAP, right? So that is one
Yeah.
of the reason you would be needing a usage analytics. This is just a kind of a walkthrough for your BTP cockpit. And BTP cockpit is nothing but a centralized place for you to access your business technology platform. Till here, is it clear for you?
Yeah.
Okay, then once you are done with this, then we should know what is that we are going to work with. So introduction to your cloud application programming. Now even though we have SAP UI5, okay,
Mm.
SAP UI5 is there, but when it comes to the SAP UI5, you have a limitation that you can only deploy it onto the on-premise system. You can also work onto your cloud application, but with the UI5, you do not get the feasibility of developing your own service, because you would have to go to the ABAPer and check with him whether how is that you are going to develop that application, right? So what SAP has done, it has enabled your developers to write all of the things into the one place. Okay, into the one place. So what it has done, it has come up with a programming language called as a CAPM. Okay, it has come up with a programming language called as a CAPM. So what does CAPM enables you? CAPM has an entire structure. Okay, so let me just show you with this one. Let me just start my tool. So this is basically the just give me a minute.
Yamini, you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, I got a call from office. Sorry for that. So this account was already created. Okay, so if you see the details of this account, you could also see that this is there. Okay, so how do you see and how do you create an account? There is one detailed document that is also there which you can use it. Okay, so I'll also tell you how that account is created and all. So if you see this, this is in the running state. Okay, and then you'll be able to see that.
So using Capum, we are going to go check the how to create the plugins and screens like that.
With the CAPM, you will basically not be uh, checking or creating the plugins. You would be seeing something we call it as a creation of the application. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once you try to create an application, you also have to see how you deploy your application and so many things. Okay.
So you are going to show the BAs only, right?
I can also show you in VS Code, but at the moment my VS Code is having some troubles. So
Yeah, BAs good fine. So I'm asking like in BTP, we are going to see the particularly BAs only. I'm just asking.
No, it's not necessary. It depends. Like the company that I work with, they have this Node.js,
So yeah,
and
yeah,
they basically use the VS Code.
yeah.
I I myself am not a big fan of Business Application Studio because it is like dependent on to the tool. Like most of the time, if it is not working or something, then we just have to be having a blocker like which delays your work. But that's not the case with your VS Code. You can just go ahead and start everything and work, and everything should be fine.
So what about the configuration level? What are the configuration we will do it in the BTP? Like I'm asking.
What configurations are you talking about?
Like uh, you just say like we are going to check with the full stack. Like full stack means we need to check with the front end and back end as well, right? Like
Yes, so I would be teaching you Node.js so that you
okay.
are able to develop your applications. And when it comes to the deployment, we would be deploying the
So
applications on the Cloud
in
Foundry.
Node using the Node.js, we are able to retrieve the values from the HANA side, right? From S4
Yes,
side,
you will
like that.
be
You are
able
saying,
to
right?
connect. Yeah, you will be able to connect to your HANA systems as well. So that will also be there.
Okay.
So let's say I'm just going to create a simple project from a terminal, or I can create a project from a template as well. Okay, so project from a template. Can you just go on mute, please? It's just allow me. I think I do not have this generator. Let me just add, or let me just take a new space. This is basically for the Fury. So I need to create another dev space, which is there for a cap application. So I'm going to use a full stack cap application. So I'm just going to create a space that will allow me to create a application of a cap. Okay. just let's see. And because we are working, because we are working on a trial environment, so we can only keep one space active at a time. So I would be stopping the space and I would just be running the space. It just takes some time, but that's okay. So here is one application that I want to create. Okay, so I am just going to use a template. If you want, you can use it from a scratch. When we go into the sessions, I'll also teach you how to do it from the scratch. Okay, but as of now, let's go via the template. So I'm just going to take a cap project. Okay, creates a new cap project. Just go with a new. Let's say I'm just going to give some demo cap as a name. I'm not going to select any database at the moment because I just want to keep it just a simple one. And I would just say it as a minimum sample and then finish it. So now you see there is one project that has been created. There is this folder called as a app, and there's this folder called as a DB, and there's this folder called as SRV. Okay, so now if you see this, because I am using a template, okay, I will just go to my terminal. Okay, and then I would just see what does that have to do. I basically have to do npm cds run. Okay, now here when I'm doing that, one second, I think it's it's not doing it. even though it's not working, we should know some kind of a schema. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create another project using the CD dot. Mm, Now you see, the one project that I've created, I'm using a template. The other project that I have done is using the command line. So I've done a CDS init bookshop. Now, if you want to see both the projects at a time, you have to be onto the projects path. Right now, I'm onto the workspace path. Okay, so let's go with this. So let's see if you have a proper structure. Let me just open it into the terminal. So there's this folder called as a node module that get installed. Okay, the moment you try to create a CDS based project, you should be having this node modules. Now, the reason being that you should have a node module is because your runtime is a Cloud Foundry runtime, and all of the programming language that you are going to use to develop a CAP application is a Node.js. Okay, so you have to have the installation setup available for you. Now let me just run the command npm. Okay, just a second. Okay. Now you see there's this command that is running, but I have not created anything over this application, but it is saying successfully deployed to the in-memory database. Okay, now if I want to run this application locally, I can also run this application using this. Okay, now at this moment there's nothing that is there inside this application. Okay, because we have not written a code. But when you're writing a CDS or a, let's say, a Node.js application, you would have two components. One is your web application and one is your service endpoints. Okay, so one is your service endpoints. So web application will give you the UI5 applications which are using the services that you're going to create into your Node.js. That is what you're going to do. Still here, do you have any doubts or questions?
Sorry, can you please go to the previous steps of how we are come with the. So can you try to run the page? Or how do you do that?
Okay.
How do you do that? Like if you just run the one page, right?
Yes. So it was here when I tried locally running the application using this command, the
Okay.
CDS run. It gave me this, and why I am able to run this command onto this bookshop space is because I have done a npm install earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So first you have to make sure that your tool, your business application studio understands that your application programming is a node programming. So you do the npm install. Okay. When you do it on a VS Code, you would do it on a different level or a different way that you need to do. But when it comes to everything which is there into your business application studio, everything is inbuilt. Okay. So you do not have to write anything manually. It's just that because the runtimes might change, you have to just do a npm install first. Okay.
Okay.
And then you do the CDS run. Now there is one more thing that is there is your CDS run and CDS watch command. Okay, so when we go into the next classes, I'll tell you with different examples that what is the difference between your CDS watch and the CDS run. So that's it for the class. Do you have any questions?
No, no. So we are going to see any configurations in
What
future,
kind of a configurations?
like a configuration between some uh, HANA or cloud systems.
Yes. So if you could just see, like when I created the application, I have also got the DB folder, right? Now, because I have not selected any runtime during the creation, I do not need anything as a DB. But here, by default, it is mentioning a DB SQLite. Okay. But SQLite is something that I am not going to connect because all of my cloud applications should be running into your Cloud Foundry, right? So what is the runtime or the database that you have for your Cloud Foundry is your HANA DB. Okay, so you would have this HANA DB as a runtime.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Not right now. I think it's done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.